watching the world wake up from history. Right here, right now, there is no other place I'd rather be. Right here, right now, watching the world wake up from history. Right here, right now, there is no other place I'd rather be. Right here, right now, watching the world wake up from history. Welcome to another episode of the Apocalypse. Since you have unwisely chosen the Apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. I promise you, I am that guide. Your humble guide, Nicholas. Just as Dante was guided through hell, I will guide you through your hell. We call existence on Earth, in the final act, the Apocalypse. Uh-oh. It appears, it seems, the Orange Messiah may indeed come for your guns. I proposed a question to the rubes, to MAGA. Wouldn't it be amusing if after all your proclamations that the liberals, Obama, Clinton, were coming for your guns, Mr. Biden, all these decades of your lies, hurled forth millions upon millions of times. The liberals are coming for our guns. Look who's coming for them now. All ye hands of Satan. The Orange Messiah. For how can the beast and the false prophet carry out their agenda with an armed populace, you fucking rubes? I know you didn't see it coming because you just wanted your team to win and go out and hurt all the people you don't like. Well, MAGA, it seems it's knocking on your door now. Uh-oh. They haven't even gotten a chance to round up all the liberals yet. And it's already knocking at your door. Just as I promised. Just as he promised. And when they knock on your door, it seems they will be asking for your precious guns, what you love more than your own children, as they get slaughtered in their schools daily. What will you do? Will you hand your preciouses over to the Orange Messiah simply for the asking? I bet you will, and you'll defend the choice, because it's your team asking. Since it's your team asking to enslave you, you will say yes and ask for more, just as you have done for 8 bloody years. Now, come and see the horrors you have wrought, that you will willingly hand over your preciouses for. Yes, let's start this piece of shit. This person, James Tate, he seems to get it. I don't know much about them. I've seen them on the Twitter sphere here and there over the years. And again, I want to say, people, the reason I can get this information so quickly and perfectly, like every 2 minutes, is because over the years I have developed a news feed of people I trust, where I don't have to question the information they put out. Of course, I verify it in my own way, but the feed I developed, I've put all these people to the test. Are they bullshit? Are they grifters? Are they sensationalists? Blah, 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 blah. You know, does it say breaking on every one of their fucking posts? You know, so I built a news feed, and I don't fuck around. If they say one wrong thing, like, they're just out, because I don't have time for it. Trolls and sensationalists, I don't have time. I'm sorry. I know you want my attention really bad, and you're just not going to get it. So, in other words, what I'm trying to say is you should be very grateful for this news feed I'm developing you, because it's developed from mine over a couple years of putting person after person to the test, until I have a solid news feed every day I can go right to and see all the relevant stories and comments on them and perspectives, and I can draw my own conclusion from that. I block everyone that's a waste of my time. Again, this is the apocalypse, son, and you know, I've been in this game for a while. I just don't have time for it. People making talking point arguments straight out the can, they are blocked. I don't have time for it. I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about for my news feed, for my studies per se. I don't got time for Russian trolls spouting the talking points with shitty English. None of it. Deadly serious. Anyone, you know, someone that puts a smiley emoji, I'll even block them, because that's worthless to me. I need comments, people with real perspectives and intellect. I need posters with real perspectives and intellect that aren't easily swayed by the wind like so many humans are. They hear some talking points out there. They don't study jack shit. They put no time in it. You get into a political discussion with them, they remember a couple talking points from Fox News or whatever the fuck they watch, and they're just spouting that shit. They don't believe it. They don't care about it. Nothing. That's most human beings. They just heard a couple talking points on MSNBC, CNN, wherever the fuck. And I'm talking for, you know, my whole existence, it's been this. So what I'm trying to say, in a very roundabout way, is that's why I can do it so quickly and get the information so quickly. I don't have to question it. Because I've already put the people to the test, and they ain't out here to lie. And they're not out here to sensationalize. So that's why you get this specific information you get that you don't see on MSNBC and the other places. No other commentator. Part of the reason I started doing this is because I wanted to hear someone saying what I was saying. No one was saying it. So I had to be that. So sometimes when I'm listening back to the videos, which I do sometimes, I don't have time to do it much anymore. For sound quality, you know, make sure what I said wasn't, you know, wrong in any way or over the top in certain ways, legal ways. Stuff like that I'm checking for. Or maybe I gave out a piece of bad information. You know, sometimes as you're giving a monologue, you don't realize what you're saying, or you say something wrong or in the wrong way or in the wrong context or whatever. And if you do that, you know, you got to handle it. So that's another reason I watch it back. But another reason I watch it again sometimes, listen to it, really, not watch it, is because I want to hear the perspective I'm giving, and I don't hear anyone else giving it. I mean, absolutely no one. Does that mean I'm better than everyone else? No. They have their perspective. I have mine. I come from the things I've studied and the experiences I've had, and they come from theirs. But I'm a different breed, I noticed. And I want to hear a crazy, unafraid motherfucker just say some shit like I do. To the point, everybody kind of wants to shut you down from second one. That's how much of a threat you are. Threat in a good way. A threat to the lies and bullshit and evil. And just endless void of vapid nothingness. Overproduced garbage contrivance put in your face over and over. That's television, baby. Pretty much everyone on it, even in this capacity. Whatever, let me shut the fuck up and get to the bullshit here. So James Tate gets it. Stack the military with loyalists, cut off Social Security and Medicaid, steal the money, then use the military to stop the people from protesting is where we are heading, right? That's what it looks like. All the indicators are there. Here's more indicators. We're being softened up for something. It's fucking, bloody obvious, and you don't need military experience to know this. We are under siege right now. We're being looted. All of our allies have been alienated in a month. Utterly, they hate our guts. And we're now allies with Vlad Putin, and they're not even hiding it. And Vlad was so bold, he leaked the Krasnov stuff. And Donnie don't even want to talk about it. They've already censored people over and whole outlets over the Krasnov stuff. They want to keep that real hush-hush. Vlad don't give a fuck, though. He just wanted to show the world, yeah, motherfucker, he's been my orange bitch the whole motherfucking time, you fucking fools. And the rubes still don't get it. They still driving the F-250, all happy that they won the game. Nope, you abject motherfucking lost the game, son. And that's why Vlad finally leaked the Krasnov stuff. Makes Donnie look like the pet dog he is. And it just sends a message to everybody. I won, motherfucker. I got your country now. But again, this is the beast we're talking about with Donnie shitbags. So he may turn on Vlad at some point. Maybe he don't want to be somebody's dog anymore. And now he's got a big enough stick to make that go away. Even a man as tough and evil and ruthless as Vlad Putin. And Vlad knows that. That's why he gives these warnings and embarrasses Donnie on a periodic basis with shit like the Krasnov stuff. Yeah, that didn't just come from nowhere. That didn't just leak for no reason. That KGB agent didn't just come out of nowhere for no reason now. They know they won the game, and they're showing you the checkmate. Vlad Putin just showed you the checkmate with the Krasnov stuff as you're driving around all happy and think you still got a country and you want to debate liberals online and shit and talk about Hunter Biden and Pizzagate and all that bullshit that had your dumb ass handing your country over for nothing. Who gives a fuck about Hunter Biden? It was just a talking point for rubes. Who gives a fuck about Pizzagate? A complete fabrication that ran for a couple decades as all these websites took the fucking money gladly from Russia and promoted their shills, still promoting Tim Pool to this day, paid Russian shill, literally. Which again, I told you guys all about almost a year in advance. That these shills were online, paid shills for Russia, all the websites know it, and they're all taking the money. Then boom, Tim Pool, Benny Johnson, you know the whole story. And they all still up. I guess Nick was right on that one too. So again, this person gets it perfectly. You, I'm telling you, are being softened up for the final checkmate, the literal downfall of this nation. We've already fallen. It's fucking over. I told you November 5th. Once you people made that decision, your country was over. Vlad won. Checkmate. Will their shit come to full fruition? I doubt it. And I have a feeling they got about 3.5 years. Roughly. But you are being softened up for the final blow of some sort. Yes, they've got to crash the economy, or they've got to say all the gold's gone in Fort Knox. One, they get to steal it and keep it. Two, they go, oh, nothing to back any currency of any kind. How about we just switch to crypto? And yes, they're saving Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare for less because they don't need any of you geriatrics anymore. And when people come out on the streets, and that's when I expect they'll come out on the streets, when all the old people get cut off of Social Security or whatever the fuck they do, I have a feeling that's when people are going to come out in the streets, and that's when they're going to have the excuse they need for martial law or however they want to start this thing off, where they go full fascist. We are going to wake up one morning to a bloody horror that lets everyone know what this is. Pure fascism, the greatest evil mankind will ever see. That's where it's going. Again, in the span of a month, look at the ruination on your country, son. We're now allies with China, Russia, Venezuela, North Korea, Turkey. That's where we're going to be. We're going to be the bad guys now. Not that America hasn't done some bad things. Of course America has. One of the most beautiful things America ever did, though, that I always think about, World War II. Getting rid of that fucking madman. That was a righteous-ass thing America did back then. Waited way too long. Still a righteous-ass thing. That no one else could do. America had to get involved. Otherwise, it was lost. Even with Russia's help. And Russia only joined in because Hitler violated a treaty between the two of them. Russia, signed a treaty with Germany. Yeah, we're not going to get involved. We're not going to jump in and attack you. We're just going to sit back and watch. Then guess what happened? The beast, Adolf Hitler, invaded Russia. Now Russia had no choice but to be on the side of America, Britain, etc. Otherwise, they never would have been. So they kind of got forced in it. America allegedly got forced into it by the Japanese bombing Pearl Harbor. I wonder about that whole thing, though. Who was behind it, etc. But I don't want to get into all that. The point is, you are being softened up for an attack, and I don't need military experience. I know what the art of war is all about. I've employed many of the tactics myself, the psychological ones, and I'm good at it too. So I can see, and they're not really hiding it, but the Rubes wouldn't know it. They're just all in glee because their team won and their orange messiah is in office, and no liberal black woman, black guy, whatever is in office. And they're hoping that this cretin goes after people that they don't like. That's what they voted for, and everyone knows it, despite what you say. Well, it's coming to all your doors too. And I asked you the question again. Wouldn't it be funny if Donnie came for your guns after you cried online, spouting lies left and fucking right, that any gun legislation was an infringement on your rights and would only get worse and they'd come for more? That was never the liberals' intention. They just wanted machine guns off the street with 100 rounds, that's all. But those guns were more important than your children, to the NRA, to the gun manufacturers, to the people in government that took the gun lobby money as children were being slaughtered. How fucking dare any of you? I don't even want to debate it with people anymore. And I was real nice about it, but I can't be anymore. Because let's be honest here. You people love the guns more than your own children. Because if your specific child goes to school one day and does not come back because of an AR-15, because it's always an AR-15, baby. Favorite gun of psychopaths and sociopaths and idiots who are always too afraid to join the military. I mean, you want to play with assault rifles? Man up, son. Sign up. You can play with assault rifles all fucking day. You don't want to do that, though. You ain't really about it then, huh? I know. I see you dudes out there. But again, you love the guns more than your own children. Why do I care about your children more than you do? Why do I think about that issue of other people's children going to school and them having to wonder, hey, is my kid coming home today? Or am I going to have to run to a Velde and try and hop a fence as police stand there and let my children get killed? Maybe that'll be your day today. All you AR-15 lovers that want this gun to be legal and in, anybody's hands. I don't even have children. Why do I love your children or care about your children more than you do? Why does the issue bother me and not you when you've got the child? You need to ask yourself that question, and I don't want to debate it. You're the one with something to lose here. I also have myself to lose, or anyone I care about, because any day of the week, any one of us could go outside and get capped by some psycho with an AR with a 70-round clip. That's our existence in this country. And I'm sorry, there's no justification argument for it that's worth listening to. Your children are dying. And you don't give a fuck. And that's not a statement designed, some ploy to take your precious guns away. It's to take the precious assault weapons away that were made only to kill humans quickly, in mass. That's the only reason that gun exists. It's the only purpose for that gun. Anyway, I didn't mean for this to be a let's get assault rifles off the street lecture. The point is, for decades you said liberals were coming for them. They never came for them. Alex Jones, the whole world, Cernovich, all you people pointing fingers at liberals. Satan, 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 they're terrible. They're going to enslave us. They're going to do this. No, that was you people. Every single one of you in GOP politics that were spouting those talking points and down with that whole bullshit facade of a reality that you created. And Vlad really created for you in the modern era, the last 25 years. You've been the hand of Vlad, you've been the hand of Satan, etc. You've ushered in this horrid thing that you all said the liberals would do because you were told the liberals would do it. Not because you believed it, had evidence for it, anything. You didn't even know Hitler wasn't a socialist or a communist. You don't even know Vlad Putin's not a communist. You don't even know Xi's not a communist. You don't even know those concepts. You don't even understand them. They're beyond your reasoning capability. So if you don't know that, you wouldn't know an authoritarian movement if it slapped you in the fucking face. If you believe those talking points beginning in 1945, that Hitler was a socialist, so, all we got to do is say the word socialist or commie, and every dumbass person with a Bible in America is going to vote our way and equate it to Hitler. That's how dumb you people are. That's why your country is gone. You spouted talking points that you didn't even believe in because they were given to you, because you don't have the capability to think for yourself and say, hey, I'm getting played here as tax cuts keep being given to the rich and I don't get jack shit. And we keep getting into wars. And my rent keep going up. Even though I'm voting GOP every time. What the fuck's happening here? Workers' rights are going away. Unions are being busted. You made that all happen, son, and the final cherry on top was Vlad's talking points coming at your mouth, your kid's mouth, your wife's mouth. Posted all over Facebook, made your life all about it. I seen so many of you people when I first went on Facebook years ago. So many of you wasting so many hours. All these presentations and posts about whatever worthless GOP talking point or Vlad talking point was out there. You've wasted decades of your fucking life doing that. Watching people that are lying to you. Hannity, Carlson, Jones, they sit behind closed doors and laugh at how fucking stupid you are. For one, helping get their white supremacist movement going that they've always been about, by the way. Alex from day one was nothing but that. I realize that now. Cernovich, all of them. And it doesn't matter if some of them that join the white supremacist thing are Jewish or black or whatever. There's those people too, those turncoats. Well, this is a straight up white supremacist movement, and a lot of them believe in Nazi ideology as well. And we know what the Nazis believe. Those of us that have studied history and aren't, just spouting Fox News talking points, pretending to be a conservative Christian, whatever the fuck you're telling people. We know where this goes. It goes to, Nazism, eugenics, exterminating people you feel are undesirable. That is Nazism. And white supremacy, of course. That's what you've been part of. That's what this has been working towards for decades. And racism has been an obvious part of the GOP platform. So you guys like that too, let's be honest. They don't hide it. When Donnie says things like, oh, there's my African American, look at him. You know what I really want to say, though? Bring it back to the good old days where we could just say it, right, Donnie? Of course. That's what Leon wants to. That's what they all want. Thiel. They're all Nazis. They literally believe in the ideology. I don't want to be saying this again. That we have people that think they are enlightened, wise, and have the public airwaves and have the most money on earth, Thiel, Musk, people like that are actual fucking Nazis. Musk threw up the Sieg Heil. Do I really need to say anymore? You saw it, Rubes. Are you a Nazi? Is you a Nazi? Are you down with that? Obviously, a lot of you are. Do you know what goes along with Nazism? Extermination of other people. Is that the kind of world you want to live in? If your answer is yes, you best look in the mirror and reevaluate your entire fucking existence. Anyway, Grok blocked results saying Musk and Trump spread misinformation. I explained that whole thing to you yesterday. If you don't know, ask somebody. I explained how different coders or different people that have way more computer knowledge than me were experimenting with Grok, and they found some system inputs or parameters that were added to get rid of Donald Trump's name and Leon's name in any Grok question about disinformation or negativity. In other words, Grok was instructed, Leon's AI was instructed by a human to omit Leon and Donnie Shitbag's name on any search about disinformation. In other words, Grok was being molded, and I told you this would happen. Leon can't have Grok talking shit on him every day. You know, telling the truth, searching the internet, seeing what people are saying, and finding the majority truth. Which is, Leon is the biggest spreader of disinformation according to artificial intelligence. His own. And Donnie's number 2. Hard to beat Donnie's shitbags on lying, man. Leon, that's a hell of a fucking achievement. I have to give it to you. And I have to tell you also, Leon, your position in the lake is utterly secure. Again, you and Donnie are written specifically. Definitely going in. Irredeemable, sorry. I wish you were redeemable. And it's not good when you two are mentioned specifically. Not good for you, Leon. Ugh, it's going to be ugly. Watching all that fat get thrown in there. Going to be ugly. So, again, I told you, Leon cannot have his own AI talking shit on it, because I told you his AI talks the most shit on Leon. That's got to feel good. You buy a website hoping to prove to the whole world how cool you are, and all it does is prove you're the ultimate fucking cringe douchebag. Nazi, racist. I could go on and on. You create an AI. And the AI spends most of its time talking shit on you because you're that much of a douchebag. Even computers think you're a fucking douchebag. It's amazing, Leon. And a bigger liar than, I never thought that could exist, a bigger liar than Donnie Shitbags. You are incredible, Leon. Wow. One more time. Grok was manipulated to leave out Donnie and Leon's name. Because every time someone did a search, who's the biggest fucking liar on the planet? Leon's name would always come up, and Donnie's. We can't have that. You tell that thing to stop saying that. You know what I'm saying? We'll just, keep them two names out of it. Why is AI ratting on us? What, I got to put a head out on it? Somebody trying to get whacked here? Huh, Leon? Oh, God. I mean, you can't make this shit up. A guy creates an AI and all it does is talk shit on him. Because he's the false prophet. Literally. Only the false prophet could tell more lies than Donnie's shitbags, right? So it makes perfect sense that Leon is the false prophet in my mind. Who else could it fucking possibly be? So, of course, it's Leon. And, of course, Leon is going to... The main point I need to make here is these AI are going to be made more and more in their image. Remember the Dugan memo. We have to... The future is AI, and we have to mold AI in the Trumpo-futurism, male dominance, racist, Nazi ideology. He didn't use those exact words, but that's the theme they want the AI to. In other words, they want the AI to have their literal perspective be made as much in their image as possible. Because we can't have AI being woke, right, people? Telling the truth. We can't have that. We need racist-ass Nazi AI going out there. Again, it's such a bad story, man. If I wrote it in a book, it's so pathetic. And I can't believe this is the story of the apocalypse. These pathetic cretins, these fat asses that would never take anyone on in real life. Leon with the chainsaw and the fucking gold chain. All gacked up on Special K, running around on a stage. Yeah, they pussies. And they could never handle a real fight. And Donnie walks around with a load of shit in his diaper and leaves the house in orange face and that horrid comb over in the same suit every fucking day. And he has zero personality, and he's an utter sociopath. And Leon, my God, is almost the mirror image, maybe a little younger, maybe just without the diaper. But these are who the devil picks for his two princes. Rather disappointing. Because people, and I'm being dead sincere here, when I read this incredible story over the years and became, understood it more and more, I expected the Antichrist to be someone, good looking, suave, charming, a brilliant orator, someone that would make Hitler and Donnie look, forget about it. They're WWF. Someone like Obama, like brilliant at speaking. I expected this Antichrist person to just bowl people over. Now, he bowled a certain segment of the population, a very dumb or greedy or racist, people with a lot of flaws he appealed to. But he didn't appeal to the general masses. In fact, he was always more hated than loved. I didn't expect that. I expected the Antichrist to be, JFK or Barack Obama, only because those men were brilliant speakers and they could move the masses, man. They inspired people. That's why JFK had to be whacked by the CIA most likely. And Obama had to be shit-talked at every turn and walk a fine line and not really accomplish what he should have accomplished. Because that's how big of threats they were. They had to be real careful. And JFK paid with his life for the threat. He was. Just no one could beat him in an election. He was a movie star, man. No one could touch him. The GOP was horrified. They just had nothing for him. Everybody loved him. So they had to get rid of him. Plus, he fucked with the CIA in a very big way. And I'm sorry, only the CIA can really set something up like we saw in Texas. I'm sorry. And, JFK was a Democrat, so it's cool for the CIA to get rid of that. Not cool for the CIA to get rid of Republicans when they get the presidency, except for Reagan. And here's my theory on Reagan. I think Senior tried to have him killed. Senior really wanted to be president. Senior, old school Republican CIA man, all the way at the top of the CIA. That's a ruthless motherfucker. That's a motherfucker with some bodies on him. A pile of them. He really wanted to be president. He didn't want to wait. Old school CIA man. In my opinion, way more powerful than Reagan ever was on his best day. Bush Sr. was the man behind the curtain on a lot of things. Reagan was not. Reagan was just an actor. Towing the GOP line. Back when they gave a fuck about Russia and all that, before the GOP en masse started taking Russian money. Anyway, let me move on. The new deputy FBI director with a known Chinese spy at Mar-a-Lago, since you guys always want to talk about Chinese spies with Swalwell, well, there was a Chinese spy and other Chinese spies throughout the years at Mar-a-Lago. And they got to take pictures and hang out and God knows what else with men like Dan Bongino. And someone pointed out that Dan has a Cro-Magnon cranium. And I've seen this before in certain humans. And I did a little study on the Cro-Magnon people and Neanderthal. And what I found out is Neanderthal went completely extinct, but Cro-Magnon is like Europeans' real ancestor, according to what I've read. You get conflicting information sometimes. But the basic story seems to be Cro-Magnon is like our actual ancestors. And Bongino, Yeah, he's got it, man. He's got it. So I knew one other guy, or I may have seen other people that have it as well. The Cro-Magnon Cranium, the brow ridge, and the enlarged frontal forehead. It's quite bulbous. It kind of bulbs out. And then he's got the Cro-Magnon salute. I knew one guy that stands out. I worked with him for years. His name was Dave. He was Hawaiian. And I don't know if he was a mix of white and Hawaiian or just full Hawaiian. I don't remember. He may have been a mix. But he had that straight, worse than Bongino, that Cro-Magnon cranium over his eyes, man. And, he still wasn't like an ugly dude or anything, but he had the Cro-Magnon thing. Maybe some ladies dig that. He didn't seem to have problems meeting women, so. But, yeah, I knew one other guy that had this. And, yeah, I see, random dudes that have it. And I don't know why. And he has it, and one of you pointed it out, and I was like, damn, you're right. He does have kind of a Cro-Magnon cranium. Not kind of, he does. I mean, maybe he's like one step behind in like the evolutional process. I don't know. I don't know how that works. Why some people have the Cro-Magnon thing, brow ridge, and cranium, and others don't. Anyway, it's horrifying that he's going to be this number 2, or he is number 2 at the FBI. Because as far as I'm concerned, he was a podcaster. All that other bullshit in his background that people throw out there, I don't give a fuck about that. Especially when people talk about degrees from college. George Bush Jr. went to like Harvard. So did his Harvard degree fucking matter in any way, shape, or form? Was George Bush Jr. really there diligently studying all the time, really learning shit? No, he got in because he was George Bush Sr.'s son. And he was a fucking idiot. And they probably just wrote pass on every fucking report because of who he was. In other words, these degrees that certain people have, like Bongino, George Bush Jr., Ron DeSantis, other people, they're worthless. They're fucking worthless. It wasn't about that for them. When Bongino's on camera like, only power matters, only power. he gets all sincere with it too. He really hams it the fuck up with that brow ridge. The law doesn't matter. The courts don't matter. Only power matters. That's Bongino. Thanks, Rubes. That's the sociopath. That's number 2 at the FBI. I'm more fucking qualified than that cunt. Just for, stability purposes. I may get mad and yell shit. But I don't sit there like this. Only power matters. Like some kind of fucking psychopath. I don't have those perspectives. That's a ridiculous perspective. And I'm glad he said it. I'm glad he did that little dramatic act for you idiots after he did a bunch of cocaine or whatever the fuck he does. Because you can't get as red as him without it, man. He's hopped up on something. He's got to be. That perspective, that's all of you, isn't it? As long as my team wins. And what does that equate to? Well, only power matters. It doesn't matter how we acquire it. We're the Jesus party. We're the party of family values and law and order. So it doesn't matter what means we use or if we work with Satan to get to our end goal, does it? But I've said this before. That's literally what you're doing. You're saying to yourself, well, I'm willing to work with Satan in all these different capacities as long as a liberal isn't in charge. And now you've literally actually worked with Satan, beast and false prophet. You put your name on. Who's going to take everything from you, by the way. And I mean everything. Anyway, despite the hype, DOGE hasn't found a shred of fraud. Yes, because that's not the point, to find fraud. When the DOGE team is charging you fucking $8 million a week, the point isn't to find fraud, son. There's a reason. I mean, again, it's the corporate model. What have you rubes watched corporations do for the past 30 years, at least? Run it bare bones / every job they can. If it gets an extra $5 in the dividend check for the board, who gives a fuck about you? That's been the attitude. Same attitude here. Let's run it bare bones. We'll have AI run as much as possible. Donnie and Leon and others will loot all the budgets of these departments and jobs they've gotten rid of. They'll split that money up. They'll split Fort Knox up. They'll split it all up. And then they'll say, oh my God, there's no gold. The economy's ruined. There's no money in the budget here. There's natural disasters that we're not paying for because we looted all the money. We ended FEMA, all this shit. We got to do something. Here's some crypto. Let's move to crypto. We all know where it's going. You think Donnie started that crypto thing right before he took office, like days before, for no reason? And Melania did a token, and these disclaimers are coming out with the tokens. You're being conditioned. They're going to come back at you again with, we know all your cash and gold is gone. All the stuff that's actually worth something. Yeah, I know that's all just magically disappeared since Leon and I came along within 2 months, but we got this crypto idea. Maybe you guys will like that. And that can replace all the valuables we stole from you with something that's not worth anything. And which is really designed just to monitor you and enslave you more. And what it's really designed for, the real end goal, is a avenue of worship. Because, we're all used to seeing money with people's faces on it, right? No big deal, right? So yes, the point of DOGE, the Hitler Youth, and Leon, what they're doing, and you're learning that, aren't you? All the people that thought they weren't waste in the government, because I voted Donnie, I can't be waste, right? Right, Donnie? Right, Leon? Nope, you're all finding out the hard way. You just as big a waste as the liberals you hate. All those DEI people. Kind of like Patel and Bongino. No greater example of DEI when the only criteria is, are you an utter sycophant? Are you a cross-eyed sociopath? Are you a podcaster saying the right things, willing to do the right evil? Because that's where this is going too. You think Donnie picked those sociopaths to not go after people? Better wake up, son. Even the parrots out here in America parroting the talking points still. You better wake the fuck up. You being looted, conquered. Sociopaths installed in every key position. It's another reason they're firing everybody. They want loyalists and only loyalists. They about to do some shit that hasn't been done in America ever before. And they're about to do some shit that hasn't been done in the world before, except for maybe Nazi Germany. And, from what I read, it'll be worse than all of them. Again, you people don't know what's coming. Look at the pace of things. Just yesterday, I was like, oh, it's Monday. So, they really hopped on it and got on a lot of things. I mean, just story after story, abomination after abomination, to where I got to stop and screenshot it and, do the whole thing. And I still have to leave stuff out. fact, I'm digressing way too much on this. Again, it was never, the point was never to find fraud, just like in the corporation that downsizes everyone. And just to give a little bit of extra money to the board because the CEO is worried he might lose his job if he doesn't do that. It's always cut, cut, cut. Service goes down, quality goes down, yet they want the customers to still interact with them and do business. As they make the service worse, as they make the product worse, by running it bare bones, having a bunch of stressed out, overworked employees that are told if you don't like it, fuck off. So it was never about finding fraud. It's about looting you and dismantling you for people like Vlad. This is a senator commenting on Leon's post about emails 2 or 3 days ago. Consistent with President Donald Trump's instructions, all federal employees will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. To understand. What, fucking idiot. So Senator Tina Smith, and I don't even know who she's the senator for, but I'm starting to like the woman. She says this is the ultimate dick boss move from Musk, except he isn't even the boss. He's just a dick. Damn, a senator saying that. Damn. Well done, Senator Tina. That's some cold-blooded shit talking right there. I like it. And then Leon directly says to her, what did you get done last week? Again, this is the person asking the question, remember, had 2 baby mamas beg to speak to him last week, as if he was, the drunk in the local trailer park, avoiding child support on multiple women. There's a term I could use for that, but let me not use it. It might offend some people. Some people that are snowflakey in complexion and in mentality. We saw him get all gacked up on Special K and wear a gold chain and a black t-shirt and a fucked up black MAGA hat and some Roy Orbison glasses, looking like an Asian because he's got so much Botox in his fucking face. We know he got Botox work last week. We know that. We know he got all gacked up on Special K, ran around with a chainsaw and a gold chain as if he was a thug or something, and some horrid Roy Orbison glasses. Baby mamas all over the internet. Hey, Leon, you're the richest guy in the world. Can we get some child support? Can we get some, help with the children? Can you acknowledge your child? We're going into some real Jerry Springer territory. Can you sign the birth certificate, man? Maybe you can afford it. It's not like you need to deny these children because of financial reasons, like a lot of men try and do. He just doesn't want to be associated with that woman and that specific child for some reason. I wonder what it is. I'll let you think about that and figure it out. I've already told you the answer to that question. So we know what Leon was doing last week, yet he wants these people to respond to him in a timely fashion when he's got baby mamas, that he had literal children with, who he's not responding to. They got to go on the internet and beg him. And it's only, once he sees a lawsuit by the one woman, once he's embarrassed by the other woman, then all of a sudden, he's trying to shut them up and contain the fucking explosion. That's what Leon did, as he's asking you to justify your position in government. Leon's really working for you, right, Roops? He's really eliminating that waste, right, Roops? Well, I wonder when you'll be considered waste at your job, due to the millions of government workers fired that now are going to be on food stamps, like that one old woman I discussed. Good thing for those liberal safety nets, huh? Those socialist policies. Or a lot of you rubes be fucked. Because let's be honest, most of the welfare goes to the rube states. And it's mostly white people on welfare in this country, not black people. Here's Leon again, coming back because what happened after Leon put that initial government email, everyone in the government has to send me 4 bullet points, 5 bullet, what you did last week, because you guys aren't doing nothing. But Mr. Ketamine Queen, he's always on the job, right, Rubes? So what happened is 3-4 department heads like Patel in the FBI told his people, don't listen to Leon, he's a fucking douchebag. Don't answer the email until I tell you to. What's her name? Gabbard, that traitor ass Vlad, straight up Vlad owned. She told her people, her department, not to answer the email until further instructed. And a few other departments told their people, yeah, don't listen to Leon. He's just a fat douchebag from South Africa. Leon's starting to catch that vibe. They're not taking me seriously? The fat South African from apartheid South Africa with an emerald mine, they're not taking me seriously? No, they're not, Leon. And here's the proof. He's talking about the email thing a few days later because he's starting to look like a fucking fool. He's starting to look like that cunt in the company that no one respects and no one gives a fuck what they say. He's starting to look like that. Those who do not take this email seriously will soon be furthering their career elsewhere. Well, guess what, people? You're going to be furthering your career elsewhere anyway because Leon's going to get rid of you anyway. It's about numbers for them, not about individuals right now. Blanket hatchet to everything. Get those numbers way down. Loot the money. Bring in a few loyalists to cover what you've gotten rid of. And AI will do the rest. That's the plan. So no, those jobs aren't coming back. Now you've got a whole bunch, millions more in competition for a decent job. All you people looking out there, now you've got millions of government workers to compete with. Thanks, Rubes. Because, good paying jobs that you can actually pay a mortgage or rent and get some benefits, they're all over the place, right, guys? Isn't that what I always hear from you idiots online? Because anytime you go on an electric screen with a bunch of jobs listed in front of you, all those jobs exist. No one's cousin is taking them, and none of them are scams for schooling. Let's be honest here. Despite the people online with an agenda, there's not a lot of jobs, and there hasn't been for a long fucking time. And you're also competing against H-1B visa workers for some of those better jobs as well. Now you're going to compete against millions of government workers that have been all of a sudden, bam, just cut off. And again, Leon threatening millions of people with furthering their career elsewhere and stuff like that. Leon making people go to bed in the millions, wondering if they're going to have their job, be they Rube or not. That still disgusts me. And you know who else it disgusts on? That dude. Up there. That's why Leon is specifically mentioned as securing his place in the lake from the beginning. Leon and Donnie. And every time I see a post like this, as this fucking drug addict, sociopath, fat, one of the most feminine dudes I've ever seen, probably gay, making people worry at night about their children, about how they're going to feed their family, how they're going to pay their rent in the millions en masse. Ooh, Leon. It's going to be beautiful watching the King of Kings pick your fat fucking pasty ass up and throw you right in the lake. Oh my God, that's going to be beautiful. And you know what, Leon? I'm a special kind of dude. I've seen it. I know what it looks like. I see you writhing and kicking. I see your imp master writhing and kicking too. I've literally seen it. And it's written, Leon. So it has to happen. Have your fun now. Enjoy it. For son, you were dead before you were fucking born. Isn't that beautiful? It's just as beautiful as you having millions of people go to bed at night as you laugh about it, wondering if they're going to have a job tomorrow. It's a shame we didn't do that to Leon as a country. Take all his contracts, all his businesses, just shut him the fuck down and deport his ass. What if we would have did that? Made Leon destitute and starving on the street. What a service for society and for mankind that would have been. A shame they didn't go that route once they realized he was basically just a Trojan horse for Vlad the whole fucking time. So Leon obviously took some Russian money at some point. And they own him. But Leon, oh, there's a party at the lake, son. And you're the guest of honor. You and Donnie. It's going to be great. Here's a picture of Leon with a very true message. I mean, it's just spot bloody on. I am a racist who inherited an emerald mine from my daddy. I invented nothing. Yes, he's the cunt that buys in. That's all he ever was. He doesn't know shit. He doesn't design shit. He can't code for shit. He's just a rich kid who buys in and is all, comes in a black t-shirt as management, as casual fuckface douchebag management. He is the embodiment of every corporate cunt you've ever met in your life. That fake ass in the polished suit or in the jeans and black t-shirt as if they're a man of the fucking people or something. Transparent as fuck. Not one statement that comes out of their mouth is fucking in any way sincere. It's all an act all day long, every day. And they're just a sociopath like Leon, who doesn't give a fuck about anyone. And they use phrases like, it's just business. And they do things like, say, let's make all the employees, I can see a bunch of HR people and corporate cunts sitting around a table. Let's make all the employees, let's make them fill out an email where they tell us what they did last week. And if they don't do it, we'll fire them. That's a straight up human resource lawyer in the room, cunt executives around a table. How do we frustrate our workforce that have made us rich, who have actually done the work as our fat cunt asses sat back and done nothing, just made phone calls. That's all we do. And then we go for a 2-hour lunch. And then we tell, the security guard not to sit down for 2 minutes. Oh, son! Every one of you that have ever said that. You're going to have to stand before me. The cunt executive that walks by and he'll see, like, I don't know, I'm just picking a job here. A security guard or a worker sitting down for 2 minutes. Someone that actually has to work for a living. They didn't get to be in the satanic Freemason club in college, whatever version of it you were in. So they got the better jobs the rest of their life. People that actually have to work for a living, that didn't go from college to management. People that actually run the world, because executives and administrators don't do jack shit. Tough men and women at the bottom do all the work, son. And I mean all the work. And how many times in my life have I been standing there on some shitty job that didn't even deserve my presence, son? Watching some $3 half-ass female, male executive, it don't matter. They're all the fucking same. See somebody sit down for 2 minutes, even though they fat ass sitting down all day. Oh, we can't have that. What are you doing? It's a write-up. I got a write-up for you, son. And it doesn't involve disciplinary action. It just involves your bitch ass going in a lake. But again, that's on the other side. You'll see. You'll see. And maybe we'll do it this way. Stand on the edge of it. And you just have to stand there. And stand there. And stand there. And stand there. And if you sit down, your ass hits the fire. I like that idea. I just thought of it right now. And it's based on you people. Every one of you out there. That think you're good. As you do these things every day. And you laugh about it. Because you got a privileged entrance of some sort. Maybe you kissed the right ass. Maybe you backstabbed the right person. Because very rarely in my life have I ever seen someone actually deserve a promotion. I've seen it 2 or 3 times, maybe. Because it's usually the sociopath that gets the job. The one that was willing, to stab their grandma in the back for the company. That's usually who gets that promotion. Let's be honest. Or an executive's nephew or something. Someone utterly unqualified. After you've been at the company for 37 years. Shit like that. Anyway, I digress again. Here's another rube. This was back in February 12th. Thank God it's finally happening. Let's get rid of corruption and all that government waste. Because Leon says there's all this waste there. Marilyn O'Brien. Marilyn 86434882. This is on the 16th of February. So we went from the 12th of February of this year to the 16th. My daughter lost her job today. She worked for years to get what she had accomplished. She loves her job and bought a home nearby just a few months ago. Life was good until she lost her job today from DOGE. I voted for you 3 times. That's the same account saying that within the span of 4 days. Again, people, this is the perfect example, this person right here, of as long as it only hurts other people, I'm cool with it. In fact, I want it to hurt other people. And they can't see me as waste, right? Or my daughter. We're too special. So many of you out there think that. People making a couple $100,000 a year, 150. They think they're the entire company. The company just couldn't run without them. And then they get the pink slip. All these rubes. I know Donnie and Leon said they were going to fire everybody, and Leon wrecked Twitter and fired everybody, and I laughed about it because they were all liberals, right, at Twitter? No, they weren't. Not according to reality, anyway. According to Leon and all you fucking liars. No, they weren't all liberals that got shit canned from Twitter and still, fighting for their severance packages. Same thing here. You think they were all liberals in government, working for the government? Why? Because Joe Biden was the last president? What, you think he's Donnie shitbags, that he just fires everybody and replaces them? No, that's Donnie. That's Donnie's entire life. I mean, how long does a relationship with Donnie ever last, no matter what it is, business, whatever, before he throws you under the bus and he fires you and replaces you? I mean, he'll fire his own appointees that he appointed years earlier for this, what's going on right now. But again, this is a classic example of the attitude I've been talking about for 8 years, and you people get all pissed, I'm sure, every time I say it. You people wanted an attack dog to go after the people you don't like. That's what Donnie promised you. He also promised you, I'm going to take your government job. You didn't want to hear none of that. You just didn't want a liberal or a black woman in office. That was the main goal. I know. Unfortunately, that attitude just costs you your country. It's going to cost you your jobs. It's going to cost you your families. It's going to cost you everything. May even cost you your eternal soul at the end of it. That is what you have chosen. Again, this attitude of, yeah, I want them to go after the people I don't like. I want them to round up people. Well, here's the problem again with that attitude. Maybe you're going to be the one rounded up. Because when you start advocating for things like roundups and camps, that's a slippery slope, son. But you rubes, again, you wouldn't understand the historical parallels or that slope. You would just slide right on down it while watching Honey Boo Boo on your smartphone. So the woman was all cool when other people were losing their jobs. No problem with that. All you people out there cheering on the elimination of waste, those are human beings, but you know that. You just call them waste. No one is more waste than Leon and Donnie. I mean, my God, do they offer anything to society? Absolutely fucking nothing. If you want to talk about Leon's businesses, you paid for that shit, son. Not Leon. His businesses are utterly subsidized. He was handed billions to start them off. So Leon didn't even offer that to society. You did. Your tax money paid for it. Those businesses would be fucking absolutely nothing. I think they sold 2,500 cars over 5 years. Before they got to welfare, you know, the welfare that Leon doesn't want any of you to have. In fact, Leon doesn't even want you to have your job. That's where Leon's at. But Leon always got his hand out to you. Can I have more? Can I have another 400 billion? Another 40 billion? My businesses are horrible. None of them make money. I need you to subsidize me. I need a handout. I need free money from you, the American citizen, that I call the parasite class, if they take welfare or any help whatsoever. But here's my handout. Put some money in it, American taxpayer. More. Oh, I'm going to Fort Knox too, even though I got 440 billion more of your money in the first month, and you got jack fucking shit except a pink slip, son. That's what you're living under. And again, person after person like this, they wanted someone to go after the people they don't like. And look at that. Look what happened. The junkyard dogs reeled around and bit them right on the fucking ass. But you were all warned. Again, no sympathy. I'm sorry. You were all warned. For 8 fucking years, people were screaming from the mountaintops. But you, rubes, knew better. Now you all going to lose your jobs if you work for the government. And then that's going to have a cascading effect of greater competition for jobs and you losing your job because they're a drain on the economy now. There's way less money, millions less dollars a day. Then we've got the tariffs and all that designed to ruin your businesses and lives too and enrich Donnie and Leon. And so many of you still have this attitude. That's why, you know, the guy losing his farm, different people, 10, 20 people I've seen so far that were ballsy enough to go on social media and admit they voted MAGA and say they lost their job or whatever, because not many humans are going to take that humiliation. But some people just, they want to go complain about it. I told you, these MAGA folk, once they get fucked over by the Orange Messiah and they lose everything, they're going to cry on your shoulder and my shoulder. That's who they're going to want to talk to. And all of a sudden act like that, you know, they were down this whole time and they didn't vote for this and blah, 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 blah. I see that statement so many times. You rubes, now that you're taking it up the you know what via Leon. All of you are like, I didn't vote for this. Oh, yes, you did, son. Don't try and hide it now. Don't pretend like you're a babe in the woods. You saw Donnie and Leon out there like, we're going to cut everything. It's going to be beautiful, right, Rubes? And you all say, oh, wow, get rid of all those evil liberals in government that I've wanted to get back at. The problem is, I guarantee most of the people you got rid of are probably MAGA people in government. And again, all of you looked at it as, this is great. This evil that's being done to millions of people, this is great. And it's not going to come across my oh shit, I lost my job too, even though I'm in the cult. Because that's what Satan is, son. Again, you make these kind of deals. You think this kind of way, and you work with Satan literally to achieve your ends. This is what happens when you're dealing with entities like Adolf Hitler, Donnie Shitbags, Kim Jong-un. Loyalty is only a one-way street, and you are nothing but a pawn for enrichment and power, and eventually worship for these two, because these are the last two. When you make that deal, it always wheels back around on you like this. So try not to have the attitude, I guess I'll say, of I want to vote for somebody that's going to hurt people, and then cry about it when that person you wanted to hurt people comes and hurts you. Because you created it, you enabled it, you made it happen. By your very existence, you were the hand of Satan. Look in the mirror, reevaluate your life, and try and actually sincerely change. Have a different perspective now that you're the victim. I doubt you will. If you, let's say you recover from this in a few years, whatever you got to do, the next presidential election comes, which we're never going to have. That's never coming. But let's say it is. So you go through this, you lose your job, you lose your government job that you had for 20, whatever, 30 years. Because of Donnie and Leon and your belief in them and your desire to hurt other people. You recover in a couple years, you get your shit paid off, or maybe buy a little apartment after you've lost your home or whatever the fuck happens. And you're back on your feet in a lot of ways. Not like you were before, but you're back on your feet. And the next presidential election comes down. How are you going to spend your time, Rubes? After you went through that, you lost your farm, whatever. You watched your neighbor lose his farm via tariffs, whatever. When that next opportunity comes, how are you going to vote? I already know the answer to that question before I asked it. That's why you've lost your country. That's why you're going to lose your job and your income. That's why you're going to lose your family and everything you care about. Because of that very stubbornness, ignorance. What do they say? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. That's you. Except you're not dealing with insanity. You're dealing with the purest evil ever. The beast and the false prophet. And as bumbling and as fat and oafy and stupid and, you know, getting embarrassed every 3 seconds. You know, Donnie being told by a 2-year-old to get me my juice, bitch, in the Oval Office as he's president, allegedly. President in quotes. Leon with his baby mamas, you know, fucking putting him on blast in front of the whole fucking world. Because he's a douchebag deadbeat father. As shameful and embarrassing, as oafy and amusing as they are ruining people's lives by the fucking second. And behind closed doors, son, they are pure fucking evil. They didn't get the blessing for nothing. And Leon wasn't wearing his night outfit with the Baphomet crest for nothing. And we'll get to a comment by Thiel. He didn't say that for nothing either. But we'll get there. Pakistan, first locally transmitted monkeypox case. Peshawar woman likely infected by husband, officials say. Again, I'm just giving the updates on these things. I have a feeling the plagues will get worse and worse, which is why one of the first things Leon and Donnie did was make sure the public would not be notified of these things anymore as much as they could. That's why I have to follow accounts like that so I know. Because Donnie and Leon, they don't want you to know. Because they know who they are. And they know a bunch of plagues are coming. Trust me. Poor Ron. Poor Meatball Ron. Did you see this yesterday? Meatball got up at a podium. And he was so stunned that Donnie Shitbags endorsed Byron Donalds for Florida governor in 2026, because Meatball was so hoping that you rubes down here had such a good time that you would elect his wife as the next governor. Could you imagine the fake Disney princess as the next governor? Oh my God. And the things that Meatball Ron said, and I watched a little bit of the statement. I can only watch Meatball for so long because, for so long. Because it's like watching, I don't know, a fake boy trying to be a real boy. Kind of like the Martin Kirsten interview he did with that guru televangelist cult leader. Kind of that same thing. So DeSantis was just up there. He's heartbroken. He sounds like he's about to cry. He just can't believe Donnie Shitbags isn't on his team, is throwing him under the bus like this. He was such a good sociopath. He was such a good, lying grifter. He was so sincere about it, selling his soul. He can't believe this is happening to him. Well, you ran against Donnie in the beginning. You shouldn't have done that. Donnie doesn't forget shit like that. Especially people that challenge him for the seat in the beginning from his own party. Ooh, he don't like that. Especially when it's Meatball Ron. So Ron was real hurt. And Ron said things like, they haven't done very much yet. You got a guy like Byron. He just hasn't been part of the victories we've had in Florida. He's been in other states campaigning. Could you believe this robot said that? The man who spent the majority of his second term campaigning to be president didn't give a fuck about Florida, and you all know it. So we wasted a shit ton of Florida money, a shit ton of all your donor money to fly around, spend most of the time in, I don't know, Iowa or something. Just being the literal example of automaton cringe. Ron exposed himself for a thing that is not good at being around other human beings in a social setting. He doesn't know how to be human. I've talked about this personality trait, if you will. Leon has it. Donnie has it. A lot of you have it. Ron has it. Having to fake being human around other people because you don't know how to. Always thinking about the optics and not just being in the situation and shaking some hands and talking to some people. That's what politics is, man. Shaking hands and listening to somebody. That's all people really want when you come through their town. You to shake their hand as they come up to you and they just want to talk some smack to you. I got this problem. This is a problem for our community. What are you going to do about it? Just have a sincere conversation with people as you go from place to place. And you know what? Having a sincere conversation with people, that's work. It ain't easy. Going from town to town, having strangers come up to you mad, wanting you to solve some problems for them. Wanting you to listen to them as they complain. It's not easy to do. It'll wear you the fuck out. It's work. That's why Ron doesn't do it. He goes there, puts on an act, gets his photo, and gets the fuck out. And it's always cringe as fuck. That's what Ron spent his time on as he's talking shit on Byron Donalds. He's not part of the victories we've had in Florida. Ron, you haven't been in Florida, man. What is you talking about? Ron is so hurt that they're not on board, that Donnie's not on board with the let's put Casey DeSantis in charge now. Oh, God, could you fucking imagine? You think Ron's a cunt. You think Ron's an automaton. I can just see Casey and her Jackie O. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Let's round some people up. Let's help Donnie out here. What are we waiting for, guys? Let's round up some blacks, some Mexicans. I mean, come on. What are we doing? Meatball is just so devastated. I could hear it in his voice. It's the most sincere, emotional reaction I've ever heard him have. And only because the agenda has just been, what's the good, kiboshed, I guess you could say. And the agenda was, we go right from the Ron monarchy right into the Casey monarchy. Is that what you want, Florida? Is it going well for you with Meatball? I don't think it is. Here's Donnie again. He keeps mentioning the gold every day, people. I don't know what, Donnie loves to tell on himself. I told you, Donnie loves to project his guilt out onto other people. Donnie loves to give you the plans before, or maybe they have to tell you the plans before. Maybe it's some type of spiritual rule. Like how they put goats in your face with $100 bills with his face on it that say, "In Trump we trust," and we all just laugh. Isn't that cute? Greatest of all time. No, Satan. That's all it is. Satan. Tribute. Satan. Replacing the name of God with the beast's name. That's all that is. Not cute. Not funny. So maybe they have to tell us these things and make sure the rubes are just cool with it. And, once it's said out loud, they're allowed to do it. I don't know, just a theory, just a thought. So here's Donnie again on the gold because, that's... Can you imagine? Donnie is just looking forward to that moment. He can stand in Fort Knox and look at all that gold sitting there that he's about to steal with Leon. Can you imagine? That's Donnie's, seeing the face of God in the vault at Fort Knox, fat ass Donnie in all his orange glory. He'll probably shit his pants. He'll soil his diaper as the angels are singing as the gold is shining, and Leon and Donnie are fucking salivating. You think I'm joking, son? I'm not joking. I expect the moment will go just like that. And, Leon and Donnie are softening us up for the fact they're about to steal all the gold in Fort Knox. And give a lot of it to Vlad, of course, because that's what Vlad really wants. Trump, we're actually going to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there, because maybe somebody stole the gold. Tons of gold. I don't know. That's about the 8th, 9th time he's mentioned this. You think maybe Donnie's going to pocket a few bars? Maybe Leon's going to pocket a few bars? And by a few, I mean all of it. Nah, they would never do that, right? They're honest and righteous. Right, Rubes? We can trust them. We couldn't trust Joe Biden, though. Right, Rubes? Right, Jesus Party? The adjudicated fraud, adjudicated rapist, adjudicated defamer, convicted felon, 34 felonies. Made a bunch of other cases go away now that he's president, too, that he was about to be convicted on. tried to overthrow the government, stole 3,000 classified documents, extorted Ukraine, tried to extort Ukraine once, not once, but twice, again recently. Nah, he would never steal no gold bars, right? Right, Rubes? Right. This is Groucho Marxist. I don't know who they are, but they nailed it. I don't know why Groucho Marxist and AI can nail it, and all of you people out there just, going about your lives and just don't even know any of this is going on, but whatever. Actually, this is their way of trying to introduce crypto as a Federal Reserve currency, with Elon and Trump stealing all the gold and or claiming it doesn't exist. Well, I've been saying that for days now. Once I heard about the little Fort Knox plan from Donnie and Leon, I said, oh, well, they keep saying the gold might be stolen by them. If they stole it, who's they? Who are we going to blame? The black guy, the old white guy, the black woman, the old white woman, Hillary Clinton. Who are we going to blame for stealing the gold? Not Ronald Reagan, though, right? Not George Bush Sr., right? Not George Bush Jr. Oh, Al Gore stole it, right? Hunter Biden stole it. Hunter Biden stole that shit. No, they're telling you what they're about to do. They're going to steal it, whatever's there. They're telling you in advance. Oh, wouldn't that be funny if the gold was gone? No, it wouldn't be funny. The only thing I'd walk away thinking from all that, if Donnie and Leon go to Fort Knox and tell me there's no gold there because of all the fraud people, they stole it, I'm just going to walk away thinking, no, Leon and Donnie stole it. Because I'm not a fucking idiot. And they're setting up the story for over a week now. Hey, we're going to Fort Knox and, the gold's probably stolen. So, conditioning you. And you guys always run with it. You always fall for it. So when they come back and say, just like Groucho Marxist here says, and screen names do not impress me. I don't give a fuck what people call themselves. I give a fuck what they say. And Groucho Marxist, he nailed it, man. And I've been saying, I said it very early on before, right after Donnie won, I said they got to crash this thing to get us on that Donnie coin. That's where this is all going, and it's also going to worship. That's part of the formula to get to worship. Having his face on our currency. Maybe they'll have a little slogan, like in Trump We Trust or something like that. Who knows? Definitely going to have his face on it, I know that. One more time, this is their way of trying to introduce crypto as a Federal Reserve currency, with Leon and Donnie stealing all the gold and or claiming it doesn't exist. There is something obvious that is going on. They are going to take all the real, tangible things that are worth something, gold, cash, etc., and they are going to offer you worthless Bitcoin in exchange once it's gone from your bank account or however they do it. In other words, they're going to take all the real assets, the real cash and jewels, and offer you something that's fucking worthless. And Groucho Marxist has it figured out. I don't know why you don't. I don't care what your political beliefs are. I don't care what his are either. All I know is he's got his finger right on reality, son. And you don't. Oh, this is beautiful. Chronic wasting disease spreads in Indiana. New detection nearing multi-state frontier. Remember, cooking doesn't kill prions. So, and a quick explanation by one of the commenters. Chronic wasting disease, also known colloquially, I can't even say that word right now. Colloquially, as zombie deer disease, is an infectious disease of the central nervous system in deer that is classified as prion disease. It is similar to bovine spongiform encephalopathy in cattle and Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease in humans. It is fatal in all cases. The Creutzfeldt-Jakob thing, there's two versions of that disease, and I have a feeling they're learning because of two hunters. And the symptoms these two hunters died from in 2022 or something. They were exhibiting aggressive behavior and stuff like that, drooling, bodies deteriorating, minds deteriorating, basically turning into a zombie. The animals that get this, that's what happens to them. Their bodies deteriorate, something eats away at their brain, and they become a kind of non-thinking, just functional nothing. They still have some motor skills and they can still move around, but their brain is not functioning. They're a zombie, basically. Not one that has died and come back, but you're basically reduced to a fucking zombie. An aggressive one, too. They drool and get aggressive as well. I was like, wow, this disease is perfect for the apocalypse if this thing gets the fuck out of hand. It's not easy to get, though. Very few people have had it, but people have had this Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease, both forms of it, I believe. This has been a known thing for a long time, and I have a feeling the Creutzfeldt-Jakob diseases, they're going to realize have come from tainted deer meat, tainted cow, stuff like that. I have a feeling over time, if we have that time, I don't think we do, science will make that connection. They've already started to make that connection. By some of the information I've read, but I've never heard of chronic wasting disease. Maybe you have. Zombie deer disease. I've never heard of that before. And I was kind of stunned as I was reading. I was like, wow, a disease that kind of really turns you into a fucking zombie. And it's 100% fatal, and there's only recently, in the past few years, there's 2 cases that are suspected, and they may have done testing after they died, that they caught this thing from animals. But it's kind of scary, man. If that shit were to get worse. Oh, and it's creeping, it's getting worse. It's spreading around. And Indiana, I'm noticing a lot of things with Indiana lately. A lot of plagues and problems. I don't know why. And now this chronic wasting disease thing, and the studies that there are diseases that humans get that kind of almost mirror what happens to the animals. And they just labeled it a human condition and they don't know what the cause is. Well, I have a feeling the cause they're going to figure out is the tainted deer meat and tainted cow meat. Oh, the terms and conditions, the full, it looked like this. I posted it the other day. I'm not going to read you the whole thing. That's not important. You can read it for yourself. This is the literal contract that Ukraine was offered. And when you read the 3 pages here, what you discover is our government basically came to Ukraine after all they've been through and said, because Donnie and Leon and their buddies are all grifters and liars and thieves and opportunists. So they said basically to Ukraine in that contract, in those 3 pages with all of those thousands of words, they basically said, we want the majority of your mineral rights and oil rights and whatever else you're willing to fucking give us because we're extorting you and you're in a desperate situation. And we offer nothing in return, absolutely nothing, except for developmental guarantees. You know, partnerships to build resorts and apartment buildings and communities. The same thing Bibi and Donnie are going to do in fucking Palestine. Same plan there. And Vlad's a part of that Israel plan, and Vlad's a part of that Ukraine plan. That's why Bibi's going to be the end of your nation, Israel. I'm deadly serious when I say that. He's on the wrong team. You better eject that motherfucker before he brings you down to the abyss. You people are going to get it real bad when the shit hits the fan. Little temple incident. You know what I'm talking about. You need to get Netanyahu the fuck out your business and go a different direction. Away from Donnie shitbags, away from Vlad. And I'm talking specifically to the right wing in Israel. I see what you all are doing. You're making a big fucking mistake. You're trusting someone you should not, looking at him as a messiah. Well, that person is described in scripture, and it says he gonna turn on you motherfuckers. And this is the perfect formula. You have Bibi Netanyahu in cahoots with Vlad and Donnie, the people, or Vlad, one of the people that financed the attack against your country. Do you understand that? So the right wing is running with Netanyahu and spouting the talking points. Well, you're helping Vlad out. You're helping Donnie out while you do that. And you're going down the path of destruction, man. Just like the right wing in this country. You're putting your hopes and trust in Donnie shitbags, who is the beast. Not the Messiah that you people think he is. It's written what he is. You should know what he is. You know your people are going to be led astray by a false prophet at the end. That's Donnie. As you people worship him, think he's some type of Messiah, savior of Israel. No, he will be the destruction of Israel. Do you hear me? So I'd get rid of Bibi and I'd get off the Donnie train as soon as possible. But you will not do that because it is written you will not do that. You're a very stubborn bunch. You right-wing folks in Israel and you right-wing folks here. You double down on misery, treachery, sticking your foot up your own ass, cutting your own throat. You double down, you triple down. You are stubborn. You are ignorant. That's why you do it. And again, it's cost us America. It's going to cost you Israel. It's going to cost you everything you hold dear. This is a different situation than you people are used to. This isn't the typical thing where everyone's just going to go about their business. No, it's going to affect all of our lives in every country. What you're seeing play out here in America. Anyway, DOGE will use AI to assess the responses from federal workers who were told to justify their jobs via email. Yes, all you people that just got fired or are being asked to tell us why we shouldn't fire you. AI will look through those. So you better get the keywords right. You know, like when you're looking for a job online and the company uses AI to filter out all the garbage applications that don't have the keywords. Well, just put the right keywords, you know, MAGA, I love Donnie, I love Leon, you know, Leon sexy, whatever you got to put in there. And the AI will see that, or, you know, I'll kill liberals for Donnie, you know, put that in there. I'm sure the AI will see that, whoa, we like this one. Flag that for promotion. We want to promote that person. Let's give them a third place in the FBI. How about that? Even though they're not qualified. Hey, they said they'd kill liberals for Donnie. So you better get them keywords and key phrases in, you know, like utter sycophancy, I'll lick your boots, stuff like that. That way you'll be able to keep your job, hopefully. Because a lot of you people getting cut too, you utter loyalists. We keep seeing the comments, I voted for you 3 times. My daughter lost her job because of you. I lost my job because of you. But you know what? I'll vote for you again. That is rubery. And now they all get to be guinea pigs for Leon's AI. How much of this that's going on is just for all of us to be guinea pigs for Leon's AI and the government to be a guinea pig? All you people wondering how you're going to feed your children, where you're going to work now, just for Leon so he can test his AI out on you. But don't worry, Leon's going in the lake. I hope that's some consolation to you. And that's a guaranteed 100% promise from something greater than us all. And they don't make promises they don't keep. So yes, all of you that lost your jobs, or all of you that are now fighting for your jobs, turning in the bullet points, you are not but a guinea pig for Leon's AI. How do you feel about that? Are you happy you voted for that? Well, it doesn't matter now. It's too late. We've all lost everything. Thanks, Rubes. Oh, Donnie shut down a military base in Greece, in Alexandroupoli, Greece, according to the Greek newspaper Demokratia, or is that for democracy in Greek? According to Greek media, Trump's decision to dismantle the military presence in Alexandroupoli came after a joint request from, guess who? Russian President Vladimir Putin and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. So since Turkey and Vlad asked us to take a military base out of Greece, Donnie said, okay. But he's not a Russian asset, right? He's not Krasnov, right? Yeah, okay. Keep spouting that as the flames grow higher and higher around you in your own country. Keep saying it's okay. Keep lying. Keep debating. Oh, he's not Donnie Krasnov. Russia don't own him. You liberals are crazy. No, Russia owns him. That's the proof right there. Vlad said, hey, Donnie, could you get rid of that military base in Greece? And Donnie's like, cool, oh, no problem, Vlad. That's the whole reason that the base was there in the first place. It's for Russia, son. Only reason we're in Europe, anywhere, is to contend Russia. That's the only fucking reason. So every time Donnie eliminates a military base in Europe, he's telling Vlad, and he's doing it because of Vlad, in service of Vlad. Literally. He's given Vlad another open door. What does that tell you about Vlad's intentions in the coming years? What the Ukrainians keep saying, right? Vlad ain't going to stop at Ukraine. And now that Donnie's paving the way for him, getting rid of all the American troops that are the only thing that's standing in his way, now he can just invade Europe like Hitler did. I would think Vlad is the beast if not for the head wound thing. That's the thing that convinces me it's Donnie. But you would think Vlad is evil as he is, because he's killed a lot more people than Donnie has. Anyway, let's continue. It's just so obvious. When Vlad Putin asks an American president to get rid of a military base, and he does, that means he's a Russian asset, okay? Just that one thing. Nothing else. You don't even need any other evidence. Leon Scum now calling for a W. Bush-appointed judge who worked for Ken Starr to be removed from office. Yes, this person, Rep. Andy Ogles, I just formally introduced articles of impeachment against radical LGBTQ activist U.S. District Judge John Bates. Well, as soon as you see in all caps, Rubes, right, radical LGBTQ, right, you're all on board. That gets you right in. That sucks you right in, doesn't it? You fucking idiots. So it must be true. We must have to get rid of this person, right? Radical LGBTQ. We got to get rid of them. We don't want that. Oh, activists too. That's in caps. John Bates. His attempt to block President Trump's order to remove web pages containing resources for, I don't even know what this is. I know it's not good. I know that judges are becoming targets for Leon and Donnie now. They want to get rid of them, just like Hitler wanted to get rid of them in his day. Any judge that didn't, toe the Nazi line, they got rid of. That's what they're about to do, Leon and Donnie. And they're conditioning you. They keep talking about it every day, and they know the rubes. That's all it takes for the rubes and the sheep to be conditioned and herded in a certain direction. The parrots to parrot the talking points. So many of you. Just lifeless automatons, parrots, sheep, And Leon, co-signs it. Time to impeach judges who violate the law, says the guy who violates the law every day. Again, it's just a typical Nazi playbook. Anyone who doesn't toe the Nazi line, we got to get rid of. We got to steamroll. We've got to ruin. That's what Leon's doing here, and that's the plan. That's why they keep mentioning it every day. Oh, we got to get rid of the activist judges. Well, that you'd lose, I don't know, 5 seats on the Supreme Court if you did that. Let's be honest here. Okay, Donnie had a meeting with Macron yesterday, and it did not go that well. And he put a whole long statement. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to read the highlights section here. I am in serious discussions with President Vladimir Putin of Russia concerning the ending of the war and also major economic development transactions which will take place between the United States and Russia. Talks are proceeding very well. Well, part of that statement is Vlad and Donnie talking about developments in Ukraine they're going to build and make all the money on, and their buddies will. That's what he really means there. Although any economic development transaction on a large scale with Russia is a problem, we shouldn't be doing any of that. That's not what we promised Ukraine. That's not what we promised the world until the beast came along. The betrayer, the treacherous one, the one who reneges on every agreement. And I mean everyone. Do you hear me? He's reneging on this one. So he's got big plans with Vlad. How many other presidents do you hear talking like that? Well, the other presidents weren't Russian assets. That's why, Rubes. It's that simple. Donnie proves it every day. He's been proving it for 8 years that Vlad owns him. Every day, all day. As you people been screaming from the mountaintops, that is all bullshit. And that you haven't been utterly manipulated and puppeted by Russian trolls online. And Vlad Putin and Julian Assange and the snake oil salesman Alex Jones and Tim Pool and Benny Johnson and Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan. Every single fucking one of them just led you sheep right to the abyss, man. And you ate it up and you parroted all of it. And again, you're going to parrot the talking points that he's not owned by Russia after what I just read you, son? I don't think so. Homie, don't play that. And here's Donnie's speech again. Americans still don't get what Trump is about to do to them. Someone's commenting on it. And all those MAGA morons just wanted to get rich, right? So many of you out there, and especially MAGA, you do not know what's coming. And I know you think you know what's coming. Let me guess. They're going to round up all the liberals and blah, blah, blah. And they may do that, but guess who else is getting rounded up? You. They're coming for you too, son. The Reich always does. Again, I read you comment after comment about this coming to MAGA people's doorsteps. You don't believe it can happen to you, right? Everyone believes that. Everyone thinks they're too valuable to get laid off by this shit or their company. Everybody thinks they're just too wonderful for this to happen, that to happen, to lose their country, to watch a Nazi regime develop in front of their face that they put their name on. Everyone thinks it can happen. It's not happening. It's all happening. Whether you acknowledge it, believe it, understand you're the hand of Satan or not, none of it matters. It's all still happening. Whether you believe in God or not, still happening. Notice I'm not here begging you to believe in Jesus every day. You know why? Because I know I'm not going to have to. I know as this plays out further and further, motherfuckers are going to shit their pants. And I ain't going to have to say a damn thing. They're going to be like, Lord, please save me. And the Lord going to say, well, wait a minute, you've been an atheist all your life. What, you asking for my help now? But the Lord would never turn you away if you legitimately asked for his help, had a legitimate, sincere change of heart. He would never turn you down, no matter what you've done. But you notice I'm not here saying that all day, every day, because I know I'm not going to have to. I know once you people see these horrors that are about to fucking play out, you're going to be looking for a savior all on your own. Trust me. Unfortunately for a lot of you, it will be utterly too late. I hope you get there before the deadline. I really do. And it don't matter if you're on your deathbed. That's how God operates. If you on your deathbed and you've been a horrible person your whole life, and in that last 5 minutes, you have a sincere change of heart, you really get it, you understand now, you say, God, I'm sorry, save me, I was bad, I was terrible, I was wrong, I understand now. Sincerely, not some bullshit you just scared you're going to die. Guess what would happen? You'd be welcomed right in and forgiven. People don't like that concept. They don't like that late to the party concept. They get mad about it. You have no right to get mad about it. Everyone comes to it in their own time, or they don't come to it at all. Anyway, here's Big Mike Johnson, who doesn't have a bank account. Leon has cracked the code. He's now inside these agencies. He's created these algorithms that are constantly crawling through the data. And as he told me in his office, the data doesn't lie. We're going to be able to get the information. We're going to be able to transform the way the federal government works. If that does not horrify you down to the most sincere rube, man, he's saying Leon's algorithms are just crawling like spiders through all of your information. That's your information, Mikey Johnson is talking about, that Leon's algorithms, and they've cracked the code. He's inside these agencies. He's created these algorithms, constantly crawling through the data. As he told me in his office, the data doesn't lie. Well, actually, there really isn't much data. You ain't saving us jack shit. We're going to be able to get the info. We're going to be able to transform the way the federal government, turn it into dictatorship. And they've already got your info. They got that first, and they got the Treasury first. You notice that? As you cheer this on. Don't worry, we have a lot of their info too. Massive, again, Rubes, massive Oklahoma job loss as 600 federal employees at Tinker Air Force Base will be fired tomorrow. Tinker is the largest single site employer in Oklahoma. Uh-oh, Oklahoma, that don't sound good. And again, I'm sure, right, everyone in Oklahoma, I'm sure all 600 of those workers are all liberals, right? So no problem with it. No, they're not liberals. I bet like 3 of them are in fucking Oklahoma. So again, you've shot yourself in the ass, you've voted for your own demise, and you cheered about it, and you shouted people down that tried to beg you not to. True rubery in action. What a dictator, what a fascist, what the beast, what Satan always counts on, son. That's you. These are the consequences, and this is just the beginning. It's going to get so fucking bad. Look at this first month. Multiply it times 1,000. So that's a huge loss of jobs for a lot of rubes in Oklahoma. And this is how you guys voted. So, I don't know if you can see that. %32% for Kamala Harris, 66% for Donald Trump. That's how you voted. Are you happy with your decision? You thought you were wise, right? We can't vote for the black lady or the pseudo black lady. We just can't do that. Again, this is you. This is you. Here's J.D. Vance's mentor, Peter Thiel, on Christianity. And this is what Mr. Thiel looks like in this picture. Sorry about the sun in the way. I find Mr. Thiel's philosophies and statements so interesting. Christianity, the main religion of the Western world, always takes the side of the victim. You should think of wokeness as ultra-Christianity or hyper-Christianity. This is a child of Satan saying that, equating wokeness with Christianity. What? What did I say about wokeness when some of you brought it up? I said it doesn't exist. It's a buzzword for rubes and idiots, for something that blankets a bunch of bad stuff we don't like. Like decency, honesty, not voting for criminals, inclusion of all peoples. If wokeness meant gay, well, I guess Mr. Thiel would be woke, right? Because he's gay. So wokeness doesn't mean that. A gay person is just a type of person. No, wokeness does not exist. It's a buzzword for morons. It's a buzzword for rubes. So Satan worshipers like Thiel, Musk, and others can have their way and have you parroting the fucking talking points. The Antichrist talking points. Because we wouldn't want the world to be too Christian, right? And by Christian, I don't mean burning fucking witches. That was not Christianity. I'm talking about what you would call wokeness. This is what I said at the time. I might call decency. I might call honesty. I might call fairness. As you spout evil and satanic talking points. That decency, fairness, etc. is bad. In other words, that good is evil and evil is good. That's what Mr. Thiel is saying here. What do you mean? Christianity always takes the side of the victim. Who are we supposed to side with? The perpetrator? Do you hear this inversion, this satanic philosophy by this entity? Who I know exactly what he is. He ain't fooling me with shit like this pseudo-intellectual Nazi bullshit. He ain't fooling me. That's all this is. So I equated wokeness, or what you call wokeness, with decency and virtues of Christ. Certain things, honesty, decency, inclusion. I equated it with that. Now, the Satan worshiper is equating it with that as well. And saying, we don't want to be too Christian here in our society. We don't want to always side with the victim. For those of us that have sought wisdom, and those of us with the slightest bit of intellect, we know what this guy is saying is pure Satan. So according to Mr. We shouldn't side with the victim all the time. Sometimes we should side with the perpetrator, like Donnie, you know, the rapist. And we should think of wokeness as ultra-Christianity. Well, what's wrong with Christian principles? And I'm not talking about the anti-abortion stuff and burning witches and stuff. I'm talking about real Christian principles. The principles of Christ that he spoke. What's wrong with those? The actions that he took in his life. What's wrong with those? You would call those woke, and you're a Christian, and this man pretends to be whatever he pretends to be when he's a literal Satanist, because only an actual Satanist would say this, what he just said. Because again, he's framing the discussion here. So when I say, oh, we can't make it too Christian, he's saying, he's framing Christianity as, we always take the side of the victim. Well, yeah. The victim is the righteous one, aren't they? They're the ones that suffered the crime or the injustice. So who would Christ identify with? Well, he'd identify with the victim. President Trump has named Alice Johnson as White House pardon czar to advise on clemency decisions. Yeah, pardon czar. In other words, I need someone to handle the bribes for me. There's so many bribes coming in, so many, $2 million checks. I got to verify if the check clears. I don't have time for this. I'm planning with Vlad. I'm planning with BB. We're trying to build condos here. I need someone to handle my bribes and make sure these $2 million checks clear. Let me get this Alice Johnson person. We like Alice over it. We love Alice. She's going to be a great addition to the grift. Yeah, because remember, Donnie was charging $2 million a pardon back in the day. I imagine the price went up this time. And he actually had to hire someone straight up to handle his bribes. It's beautiful. Beautiful. U.S. Attorney Mr. Martin again, the head of the Gestapo as far as I'm concerned, Edward R. Martin Jr. Here's a statement by him. He put it big, yellow, bold, kind of. As President Trump's lawyers, we are proud to fight to protect his leadership as our president, and we are vigilant in standing against entities like the AP that refuse to put America first. This is a U.S. attorney spouting a straight up political line. Holy fuck. A straight up Nazi line. A straight up propaganda line. And names a publication that we don't like, that we're going to make sure has problems. Oh my God, Gestapo man. He gets community noted, but I'll read that in a minute. This is an interesting story that we're going to see more of. Rep. Corey Mills, an arrest warrant was sent to the D.C. Police and U.S. Attorney's Office on Friday. It has not been signed, and police said the case was sent back to them for further investigation. Again, this is Mr. Martin's territory, U.S. Attorney, right? He's all about making sure the AP can't broadcast and talking shit on them and harassing them for not putting America first and threatening them with litigation. But when it comes to Mr. Corey Mills here, let's see what he did. A married Republican congressman has been having an affair for a year. That woman called police, told them he assaulted her, and allowed them to listen as he instructed her to lie about her injury's origin. Upon police arrival, she showed them bruises that the officers called fresh, and that's a quote. The woman recanted her story after being told he would be arrested. The D.C. police nonetheless sent a warrant for his arrest. The U.S. Attorney's Office that today proclaimed itself President Trump's lawyers refused to sign it. In other words, so they're not going to prosecute the wife beater or woman beater here. Classic cliche story. The cops show up, a woman's been beaten, she complains to the police, and the police say, well, we're going to have to take this man to jail now. Then the woman's like, never mind, I don't want to press charges. Cliche, same old motherfucking story. Again, that's why I have some respect for police. They got to deal with these cunts. The guy and the girl, by the way. You either want help or you don't. I'm tired of the wishy-washy bullshit I've seen from way too many people. You either want help or you don't. And I like how police departments are just pressing charges on their own in a lot of places. They don't got to worry about some woman, changing her mind because all of a sudden she loves the man again after she called the cops on him. So I like how cops press charges in those situations, but the main point is this person is blatantly guilty of what they've done, but they're a Republican congressman. So we can't have that being thrown in everyone's face. We got to talk shit on the AP. And Mr. Martin, the U.S. attorney who's supposed to be handling this problem, he's not going to. He's too busy spouting propaganda for Donnie shitbags and the Reich. And Mr. Martin, again, you get one last warning here. Turn away now. Or you got a meeting with the lake, son. Your God is watching you. He's watching all of you. He knows what you're doing. You're going to be held to account for it. Via a trip to the lake, lest you turn away, son. I hope for your sake you do. Macron standing next to Trump. I stopped my discussion with President Putin after Bucha and the war crimes because I considered we had nothing to get from him at the time. Yes, Macron, with his meeting with Donnie, he's not afraid of Donnie at all. He sees him as a joke. And he contradicted Donnie right next to him at a podium, right next to him while he was sitting next to him. And Donnie does not like when his propaganda and lies are contradicted because he's lying for Vlad. And if he doesn't do a good job, he may fall out a window. So I applaud Macron for telling the truth. Again, more evidence Donnie shitbags is Donnie Krasnov shitbags. U.S. joins Russia to vote against UN resolution condemning Russia's war against Ukraine. That's all we were doing here, just condemning the war against Ukraine, condemning Russia's horrible attack on Ukraine where people are being raped, pillaged, murdered, enslaved, kidnapped, looted. And we get to the UN and we just say, hey, let's vote to condemn this action. And the United States says no. Votes against it. Could have abstained, could have done a whole bunch. Nope. Outright votes against it because we got to show the world that we're utterly aligned with Vlad Putin now. Again, anyone that dares say Russia doesn't own this orange bitch of yours, let me just read this one more time for you. U.S. joins Russia to vote against UN resolution condemning Russia's war against Ukraine. That's all I need to hear to know he's Russia's bitch. And I got a lot more than that. I could spend years on that dissertation. Denny's announces egg surcharge joining Waffle House. Hey, MAGA, I thought we were supposed to get cheaper eggs, not an egg surcharge. Thanks, Rubes. Another example of your idiocy, ignorance, bias, horrid choices. And we all must suffer you and what you have chosen and the apocalypse because of you. I'm serious when I say that. Because of you. You literally ushered it in. That's an amazing feat, man. It's like Leon beating Donnie in the competition of lies per day. That's a hard fucking thing to do. That's like high jumping, I don't know, 13 feet. Dan Bongino looks like the guy that rednecks put in charge of the tactical sunglasses counter at Cabela's because they're still not 100% sure what he is. I know exactly what Mr. Kessler means by that. And he's dead on balls accurate with that assessment. Noel Kessler, the one who worked on The Apprentice and broke the story about Donnie Shitbags being Donnie Shitbags and wearing diapers and shitting himself and the smells and the horrid experiences. Again, one more time, Dan Bongino looks like the guy that rednecks put in charge of the tactical sunglasses counter at Cabela's because they're still not 100% sure what he is, if you get my drift. And I think he called him Don Bongino because didn't Donnie fuck up Dan's name or something? That's what I heard. I didn't listen to the clip myself. I just heard a bunch of people talking about it, that he messed up Dan Bongino's name. Is that his? Now I'm fucking it up. I think it's Dan Bongino, right? Oh, here it is, Dan Bongino. And I did not know he wrote this book. I was just searching for an image of him because I wanted to put a post up and I want you guys to see what he looks like because you guys don't know all these characters. I know every damn one of them almost. There's not many new faces for me. But this is Dan's book, I guess. So I'm searching for images, and this is like the second one that comes up. I was like, this man wrote a book called The Gift of Failure. Oh, bloody course he did. And what a portent for our futures and America and the world at large. This right here tells me it's the apocalypse. This alone. That Dan Bongino Cro-Magnon Cranium. The guy who gets on camera and is like, all that matters is power. Power. With the cranium right in the screen. At the forefront. Gets number 2 at the FBI for basically being a podcaster. And not a very good one either. And an abject sycophant and sociopath. So I, just searching for a name. Of course, Cro-Magnon wrote The Gift of Fucking Failure. And it's when I saw it and I saw him sitting there, I said to myself, wow, what a portent for America. And it just was it was telling me, it was screaming to me, oh, he's going to fail miserably at being second in the FBI. And him and Patel are just going to go after whoever Donnie doesn't like. And they're dogs. They have no intellect, intelligence, wisdom, nothing. They're just, Nazis in their own way. So, of course, Dan wrote The Gift of Failure. And Dan's going to show us, he's going to give us the gift of failure. And so will Patel and Donnie and you that all voted and co-signed for this. You're all going to give us the gift of failure. You failed as a human being. You failed at decency. You failed your God. You failed everything. You failed your children in this one respect. You gave their future away to Leon Scum, Cro-Magnon Cranium, cross-eyed sociopath Patel, Donnie Shitbags, Vlad. You gave your child's future away. You failed them as well. In that one respect. You've allowed men like this, Bongino and Patel, to take over your FBI. The gift of failure, you say. Here's Leon again on the emails, because Leon's, again, so many departments in the government just said, fuck Leon. Who the fuck is he? His fat fucking South African ass. Fucking gives fuck about his pasty ass. So Leon back on the emails. Subject to the discretion of the president, they will be given another chance. Failure to respond a second time will result in termination. Because some random right-wing shill, Matt Walsh blog, whatever the fuck his con ass is, fire any federal worker who didn't answer the email. How about we fire you, Matt? How about we start with you? Since firing people is so fun, let's start with Matt. Let's take all his income away. See how he likes it. Maybe he wouldn't be preaching it so much. Because I noticed a lot of you that were preaching it a week ago, once you got your pink slip, you ain't preaching it no more. I noticed that. Fire anyone who complained publicly about the email. Fire any who complained privately about the email. Fire any who did anything but cheerfully and promptly answer it. Wow, isn't he a good little Nazi, this Matt Walsh person? Again, Matt, if we shit can you, whatever you got going, whatever shitty podcast, whatever Russian finance bullshit you got going, what if Vlad stops paying you, Matt? Are you still going to be saying this stuff? Probably not. So Leon's giving people a second chance. You have a second chance, federal workers, for AI to sift through your response. And here's our community note for Mr. Martin, who is literally the Gestapo, head of the Gestapo now, and thinks he's the personal lawyer for the Fuhrer. The DOJ is not the personal law firm of the president. The Attorney General represents the United States in legal matters, generally, and gives advice and opinions to the president and to the heads of the executive departments of the government when so requested. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it worked under Biden. Now we've got the Gestapo and we've got the Fuhrer, Caesar. It's a whole nother animal. And Edward R. Martin Jr. is perfectly happy to be an utter sycophant and sell every bit of his dignity. Here's Leon again on the email thing, because Leon's embarrassed now. The email request was utterly trivial, as the standard for passing the test was to type some words and press send. Yet so many failed even in that inane test. urged on in some cases by their managers. Have you ever witnessed such incompetence and contempt for how your taxes are being spent? I really should read it like that, shouldn't I? Emphasize the parts. Makes old Twitter look good. Didn't think that was possible. No, it doesn't make anything look good. Again, he just came in and dismantled Twitter for a political agenda, an agenda Vlad had, the Saudis had, Donnie had, Leon had, which they're showing us now. We see what the agenda was. Now, he looted and pillaged and plundered Twitter, and you all laughed about it. Now it's all happening to you, and it ain't so fucking funny, is it? And Leon even getting pissed. He's putting incompetence in all caps, contempt, how your taxes are being spent. Well, Leon just got $440 billion of your tax money, and he's gotten billions more before that. So, again, the biggest welfare queen that's taken more of your tax money than anyone ever could is talking about contempt, incompetence, and your taxes. The guy whose baby mamas have to contact him on Twitter in front of the whole world is talking about incompetence and contempt. Your tax money, again, how much of it has gone to Leon already? And he's talking about these other people that don't respond to an email? They're not responding to the email, son, because their department head said, fuck that fat South African cunt. That's why they're not responding. Not because they're lazy. They were told not to. Because who the fuck are you? And they're starting to show Leon that, and he's starting to lose his mind a little bit. He can't handle that. But more and more people are going to go that route, and he's going to become hated and despised every second of every day more. That's why they got to go full fascist. They can't contain this person. They can't contain Donnie. They're too hated. It has to go fascist. Just like Xi is hated in his country, just like Vlad is hated in his. Of course, you'll never get a Russian to say they hate Vlad because they'd be executed for saying it. You'll never get a Chinese person to say they hate Xi because they'll be executed for saying it. That's where we're going. Thanks, Rubes. And that's deadly serious. That's literally where we're going. And we're going even further than them. China and Russia, I mean. This is the beast and the false prophet. You think I'm joking about that? I'm not. So Leon's really mad and calling these people incompetent for not responding. No, Leon, they didn't respond because you're a fat, worthless cunt from South Africa that no one gives a fuck about. That's why. Not incompetence. They were perfectly competent. Their job was not to respond to the fat South African cunt with too much Botox in his face. The effeminate fat South African cunt, by the way. Utterly effeminate. Here's a real man, Zelenskyy. Here's a quote when he first got the presidency. I do not want my picture in your offices. The president is not an idol, an icon, or a portrait. Hang your kids' photos instead and look at them each time you are making a decision. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, 2019 inaugural speech. Wow, that's not a statement we hear from many leaders. You know why? Because most leaders that get to be in charge are straight up abject sociopaths, co-signed by a sociopath. That's usually who gets to be in charge. And we all got to try and keep the sociopath in check. Zelenskyy, we don't got to do a damn thing. He looking out for us. If he were our president. By the grace of God, unfortunately, we get Satan's disciple, Donnie. Literally. Most presidents want their picture, most strongmen, most dictators, whatever kind of government it is, they want people to worship them. They want icons out there. They want statues made. They want goats made. They want to be on Rushmore. They want to be worshipped. They want to be idolized. Who does that sound like? Well, Donnie and Leon, actually, but Donnie, oh my God. He's handed $200 million to people. Say, do a campaign thanking me every day, please. Here's $200 million of taxpayer money for that. And, yo, can you sponsor a bill that gets my face on Rushmore? That's Donnie. This is Zelenskyy. That's the difference between a hero and a real man. And whatever Donnie is. This is why I respect this man. And he's lived in that part of the world where strong men like Vlad and others, they want their picture everywhere like Hitler. And what is that designed to do when they've got the president's picture up on billboards everywhere you go. They got pictures in your workplace everywhere. It's designed to control you, intimidate you, give the false illusion that the leader, the dictator is omnipresent, always watching. That's the point. When Hitler and people like Xi or whatever put their pictures everywhere and statues everywhere of themselves, to give the impression that they're omnipresent, they're always watching. It's an intimidation and fear tactic. That's why Zelenskyy is talking about it here. I'm not a strong man. Don't put my picture on your desk to intimidate people. Don't put my picture up in your workplace. Don't put my picture up in your homes. This isn't the old way anymore. This is the new way of freedom, not dictatorship. That's what Zelensky's trying to say. And I don't worship myself, and I don't want you to worship me, and I don't want icons and idols made of me. Very godly. A very godly statement right there. That's one of your commandments, Rubes. Don't make any false idols. Don't worship any false idols. But you think it's funny. You see a gold statue of Donnie. You want his face up on Mount Rushmore. You're wearing the crosses every 3 seconds. What was commanded of you? No crosses, right? No icons, no idols, right? Yeah, you're wearing it every day. Whatever. I'm not saying you're going to hell for that. I'm just saying it's an example of iconography. This man doesn't want any idols made of him. That's a very godly statement. That's a very godly path he's walking there. What path you walking? The Donnie Shitbags path? And I love this boy. The city of Coeur d'Alene, I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry, has revoked the business license of Lear Asset Management, the security guys who dragged a woman out of a town hall with lawmakers over the weekend. Yeah, it don't look good when 3 bitch-ass grown men and a sheriff are trying to subdue one poor little woman. Never looks good, looks bloody horrible, and that's what you're going to see more of in fascist dictatorship. Literally that. And boy, they walking it back now, aren't they? They pulled the fucking company's license, and that's the power we have, people, and eventually they're going to have to shut that power down. They can't have shit like this. Immediate action, because it blew up online. This woman getting removed from that town hall. They didn't think it would. They never do. Everyone saw it, and it looked real bad. And the people not identifying themselves looked real bad. And the sheriff not identifying them and helping the woman either looked fucking horrible. His fat, inbred ass. You were literally watching your country turn into dictatorship, to Nazism, with that piece of tape you saw. That woman being subdued by those 3 men and them not identifying themselves. All they had to say is, we're security, man. We work for a security company. That's all. They didn't want to identify shit. Just like Mr. Van Rensburg, who passed off the fake ID. He didn't want to be identified either. I know, guys. Here's the problem. When you take part in this Nazi bullshit, and I mean every fucking single one of you, your face will be taken, your name will be taken, everyone will remember. That's the problem with being a Nazi. People don't forget about that shit. And committing atrocities, people don't forget about that shit. You want lists, you want names, you want faces, we do too. So the security company has utterly lost its license. I wish we got the names of the 3 guys that did the dirty work too. The big tough guys that subdued a woman for evil, for the Reich. You saw the beginning of it. There's a reason this went viral, son. It was to show the world something. Are you paying the fuck attention? I hope so. The city sure knew how fucked up it looked. They got rid of those motherfuckers. I love to see consequences. Just like that cunt priest from the Anglican Church who threw up the Nazi salute and then pretended like it wasn't. The church got rid of him the next fucking day. That's what I want to see. That's how Nazis should be handled. Ostracized and thrown out of society. You want to be a Nazi? Let's put them all on an island somewhere. They can go be Nazis and kill each other and gas each other. Whatever the fuck they want to do. This was fascinating. I didn't go looking for this. It just popped up. I asked ChatGPT, if Satan or his spirit were to manifest in the U.S. today, who would it be? Here's the answer. If Satan or his spirit were to manifest in the U.S. today, who would it be? Name one person. Elon Musk. He's seen as a hero and a rebel, but his work with AI, brain implants, surveillance tech, and deep government ties suggests he's helping build the very control system that could enslave humanity that you cunts warned everyone about for years. All while making people believe it's for their benefit. Right, cunts? Right, rubes? Oh my God, AI just said what I've been trying to say to you for months now. You've made the literal agenda that you warned everyone about come true. AI gets it. Why don't you get it? You fucking idiots. Suggests he's helping build the very control system that could enslave humanity, all while making people believe it's for their benefit. Isn't that Satan, baby? Isn't that the GOP? Isn't that the right-wing grift/terror machine in a nutshell? Why does AI get it? And all you humans walking around out there, you don't get it. Wow, this was incredible when I saw it. And he almost got it right. The AI almost got it right. Leon's actually the false prophet. Donnie's the beast. The dragon is Satan above them in the heavens. My God, that's amazing. I got to post that in the post section later. Oh, the reporter asked Donnie, can you explain the rationale in having the U.S. vote against the UN resolution that Ukraine proposed? Trump. It's sort of self-evident, I think. Yeah, it's self-evident. That's why he's sitting next to Macron. It's self-evident that it's Donnie Krasnov. He's been an asset of the KGB since the 80s, and we're in direct alignment with Russia. And Donnie's an abject traitor to our nation, to Ukraine, and to all moral decency and everything that's good. That's what's self-evident. Yes, thanks, Donnie. You're an abject traitor. Oh, and here's the end, folks. Again, I asked you the question, Rubes. Wouldn't it be funny if Donnie was the one that came for your guns? As you screamed from the mountaintops, every time the liberals said, you know what, we want to take guns from crazy people, and we want to take this AR-15 off the street with the huge clips. We don't want our kids to die anymore in schools, movie theaters. Well, we got Donnie sitting next to a random blonde here. I forget what position this random blonde has. And they're talking about taking people's guns away and a gun restraining order or gun violence restraining order. We don't like that, do we, MAGA? We don't want to ever talk about that. And if liberals were in a room talking about this, about to make it legislation, you would be smearing shit on the Capitol walls. I know it. But since it's Donnie and the blonde Nazi here, it's cool. And this person is saying Trump is coming for MAGA cults guns. Whatever you do, don't share this. It's just going to upset them. And here's what that looks like quickly. Because I got to get the fuck out of here. And one more shot involved with that, and we are done. Laughing my ass off. Look who's talking about taking your guns under a gun violence restraining order. That's in quotes. MAGA, and the person's laughing. And I'm kind of laughing too. I told you this would happen. But since it's Donnie and the Nazi woman, and I forget her name and what position she has, what she was talking about in the video clip that I linked you to earlier, she was talking about people that get committed or people that they deem as unfit, that we can go around the courts and just come in the home and take your motherfucking guns. And the point of the legislation, Rubes, is to go around the courts part. So for the past 40, 30, 20 years that your dumbass, parrot ass,
death parrot ass was telling everyone that would listen and, spouting the Russian talking points on Facebook and the NRA talking points, that every time liberals wanted to pass a piece of legislation, common sense gun reform, as Matthew McConaughey called it, you guys say, oh, they're coming for our guns, blah, blah, blah. The liberals are going to take our guns away, enslave us, New World Order. No, that's you, son. You were the hand of Satan, spouting the talking points in service of Satan and Vlad, and the NRA that gets your children killed, and the guns that get your children killed. And you were lying and spouting lies, and you were willing to work with the most evil of people over and over again, different iterations of them. And you told us all how the evil liberals, Obama, Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Kamala, Joe, they all gonna come for our guns. Guess what, son? You voted for what's coming for your guns. You made it happen. You cheered it on. You begged for it. And look at Donnie now. He was sitting next to the pretty blonde woman, at least in his eyes. As she was talking about, Donnie interjected here and there because he knows this looks real bad to the Second Amendment crowd, but they'll run with it because they just, automatons and sheep. And it's not a liberal coming for the guns, right? Again, the analogy, if your house was set on fire, Rubes, you would stop to ask the question before putting it out. Wait a minute, did a liberal set that fire? Or did a conservative set that fire? Because if a conservative set that fire, I got to let it burn. And I got to tell my neighbors how great it is that that conservative set my house on fire and it's burning to the ground right now. That's what you've done. That's what you've done with your guns as well. How can Donnie and Leon implement this huge plan? And it's obvious we're being softened up for an enormous agenda. Nothing like we've ever seen before in this country. It's beyond obvious that even people with slight intellect were being softened up. Part of that softening up is going to be coming for people's guns. They can't have an armed populace with what they're about to try and do. You understand? They about to hand you a mark and some currency that doesn't exist when you've been used to dealing with money and debit cards and shit all your life. And that transition has been conditioning as well by a certain individual named Satan. Starting with the debit card that was just a number, then the debit card with a magnetic strip, then the debit card with a microchip in it. That's been conditioning as well to get us to this point where we just put the chip right in between our thumb and forefinger. And people have had these for years. Maybe that's the way it'll go. They also have ones you can put over the skin if you're not comfortable with putting it under the skin. I assume they'll want it in your right hand or on your right hand. And then they're going to want you to worship them. You people ain't going to be down for that, some of you. And they want to enslave you. Just like the Nazis were. Think of Nazi Germany and then put it in America. That's the plan. But the plan goes even further. Although Hitler did want to be worshipped, didn't he? Well, this guy's really going to want to be worshipped. And he's all about that. I mean, he doesn't hide it. He loves being idolized and worshipped by you people. It makes his life worth living. It's really the only thing he has. So how do they subjugate this country that they've armed over the years? Well, they got to disarm it as much as they can or selectively target who they're going to disarm. Anyone that might be a problem. So Donnie was talking to the pretty blonde woman as she was presenting her idea of taking your guns away. And he was saying, well, what you want to do, you're trying to get around the courts. You don't want that 6-month waiting. You just want to go right in and take the guns. He said that out loud. And according to you guys, every time the liberals tried to come up with legislation that even remotely resembled that, well, they're coming for your guns. That's what you said. So I assume Donnie's coming for your guns now, right? The point of that legislation, and when the liberals were passing those types of things, they weren't trying to come take your guns completely. They just wanted assault weapons off the fucking street. And you know that. That were killing your children. But this is different. These are nefarious entities, Donnie and Leon. They got a real big agenda. And if you haven't noticed yet, I don't know what it's going to take to notice. And hey, Leon threw the Sikh Heil up. So we know what he's about. Anyone shaking their head every time the word Nazi comes up as if it's not even remotely true. Oh, it's totally true. Leon did a Nazi salute in front of the whole world. So these are the people that are passing legislation, Leon, Donnie, and the blonde Nazi woman, that specifically say, oh, we can go around the courts if we deem if you were committed, and anyone can make a phone call and have you committed. There's a bunch of different ways that can happen. Or someone could say you're crazy or whatever. In other words, deemed unfit or committed. That's all that's required. And they can come in your house and take your guns without a court order. That's what she said to Donnie. Well, before it had to be adjudicated. And Donnie's like, yeah, you wanted to get rid of that, right? That way you can just go right in and take the guns. In other words, the legislation is designed to go around the courts. That's the key piece in it. That's the aim of it for Donnie and Miss Nazi. They don't want courts saying, well, this person ain't crazy. You can't take their guns. By the time that all happens, your guns are gone, son. Do you see where this is going now? And I knew it would happen. You're never going to have an authoritarian regime or Nazi-style regime where they're going to allow the populace to all be armed. No way. They can't have that. So guess who's coming for your guns, MAGA? That nightmare that you've been telling us the liberals were going to do to you, you know, lying, you're just basically telling a lie for whatever purpose. Maybe you heard it, maybe you had an agenda, whatever. You were lying. And shortly after Donnie got elected, I said to you, wouldn't it be funny if Donnie came for your guns? Because I already knew he was going to. That's why I said it. Because I already know what's going to happen before it happens. You can't have an authoritarian movement like this and have a population armed. So they're going to have to take some guns away. I'm sorry, you voted for it. You wanted it this way. I don't know what to tell you. So it appears Donnie's coming for your guns. Way to go, Rubes. Boy, you people astound me at how thoroughly you stick your foot all the way up your own ass. Not just a little bit, all the way. Well done. You've ruined your country, your children's future. Even that gun you love so much might get taken away. Wow. Concentration camps, brown shirts, black jackets, Nazi priests, Nazi oligarchs, Nazi presidents, Vlad Putin killing people. Now we aligned with him. Boy, it's working out great, isn't it, Rubes? And I'm sure that $5,000 check's coming any day now. Till the next episode, have a wonderful day.